I just wanted to make a video on common tests and mistakes that I often see with fourth graders in math. So the main thing that I want to emphasize is the fact that students absolutely positively have to pay attention to every single question. And so a lot of times they don't pay attention, and therefore they might accidentally choose the wrong answer, and there's more to that. But the main thing that I cannot emphasize enough is simply just paying attention to detail. Now, I want to highlight the first thing, which is not using the case strategy. And the case strategy specifically talks about 4 things. It talks about using the keywords and really just the keys to the problem. Know what the question is actually asking you. Know what strategy to use. And then you need to know what answers you can actually, or things you need to eliminate. But often I see in 4th grade math, students don't want to do this. They don't look for the keys. They don't look for the keywords, key numbers, or even the key symbols, like the multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, all kinds of stuff that can help them figure out the actual answer. Another problem is them not utilizing the right strategy. The keywords in the question give away what strategy to use. And then they have to do that strategy in its completeness. If they don't go all the way with their strategy and try to find an easier or lazier route, it will often lead them to the wrong answer. And another thing, sometimes they just completely skip over figuring out what the question is truly asking them. And if they don't know what they're actually being asked, they're not going to get the right answer. And then another huge problem that I can't see is not using process of elimination. Process of elimination, to me, makes all tests with multiple choice pretty much easy, especially if it's something that you've been using, studying. Process of elimination actually helps. And then there's always a dumb answer, there's a tricky answer, and then there's a correct answer. And usually there's 2 dumb answers, 1 tricky answer, and then there's the actual real answer. So that's the first thing, aside from paying attention. Now the next thing is students not being intentional with time. So I've seen students who are very good at math, but they won't be intentional. And by intentional, they're not focused on doing the easy questions first, the medium questions second, medium in the middle, and then the hard questions last. So what I mean by that, I've seen students, they might have 30 questions, and so they might get stuck. They might do 5 questions that they did, and then they get caught up on a super hard question, and they spend all of that time on that one question, and then they had, let's say 14 other questions that they know they could have gotten right. Questions that were easy for them, but they got caught up in the wrong answer. And so instead of worrying about that one question, I would rather students miss 3 or miss 4 and still get maybe, the other 8 right. There's no reason in staying on one question and missing all that time when they could just move on and come back to it later if they have time. And another problem that I have, aside from that, is just rushing, flying through the test like they're on a race and like they got somewhere to be. If you have an hour and 30 minutes, use it. If you have 3 hours, use it if you need that much time. There's no sense in rushing through something simply because you don't feel like taking a test. And when you rush through things, you miss warnings, you miss red flags, you miss the eliminating questions, and you just make careless mistakes. And then another problem is not utilizing the help. So, and the help we use with my students is their strategies and their dump your brain. And another huge thing, scratch work. That is a must. That there is no option. This is super huge. Scratch work is absolutely important. So I'm going to make an example of what I'm talking about. Now here's an example of a question that I've seen students get tricked up on, and this is a very, very simple question. This question deals with expanded form, and more specifically, it's an area model question, but some students may not know that. Because ideally, the students would break their number up with the expanded form of 5,085, and so if you were to stick that number, if you didn't know the expanded form, you would stick that number in a place value chart. And so, as you can see, you just drop that base number down and stick however many zeros in its place value at the end. This has nothing, so we don't have to worry about that, and we can just skip that and put the 8 there. And 8 has a 10, it's in the tens place, so it has 1 0, and that's going to be a 5. So here I got 5,000 plus 8 plus 5. And so the last step in any expanded form is to simply add up which you did not already have. So you should have already broken this down to whatever it is that you were trying to do. And then you would just add it all up. Now, in a sense, if all we're doing is the expanded form, all you have to do is break it up in expanded form. But I've seen students completely miss the dumb answers, the tricky answers, and the correct answer. The first thing they should have noticed is pay attention to the question and the case strategy, which expression. They don't want you to solve it. They just want you to break it down, the expression. Now, as I can see, they all have 5,000, so that's not going to help me. But if you notice, and then, so I see the difference in, that some have 800 and some have 8. Well, I have seen a student accidentally rush through, think they got the right answer, and they would sit up there and choose the 800. But clearly that 8 is in the tens place, so it cannot be 800. It is equal to 80. So if you saw 800, I would cross that out. And then they would be left with these two numbers, but the only difference is one is adding everything, one's multiplying. In every single step, the last step, any type of area model, the last step is simply adding it, not multiplying it. And therefore, they would find a tricky answer, the two dumb answers, the ones that you can easily see that are wrong. And then you would be left with your correct answer. So rushing through, a student might accidentally choose something wrong, and that's one of the main issues, is simply not paying attention. Okay, again, I hope this does help you understand just how to take your time with the test. You don't have to rush through. Pay attention to the case strategy. Know what the question is asking you. Look for any keys, anything that can help you, like looking at the expanded form, the key numbers even, and key symbols can help you. Those are keys. Know what the question is truly asking you. They may not be asking you to solve this question. They might just want you to tell them the expression. Know what strategy to use. When I picked up on the fact that this was broken down into expanded form, all you had to do is simply just write the expanded form of this. And then you need to know what to eliminate. And I was able to find my dumb answers, I was able to find my tricky answer, and I was even able to find my correct answer. So using this strategy will help you every single time. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed day.